The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
And welcome, good people, to the Daily Read. I am your host, Marcus Gentry. In my studio office today, I have with me, introduce yourself.
Mr. Kyle Wentworth. How is everyone?
my good friend Kyle Wentworth here. He's a coworker of mine, and he was going to sit in with me and listen to the debate that we were supposed to have today with what's his name, Kevin.
Kevin, I have no idea what his last name, but he drives the dump trucks for us.
Yeah, he is a adamant Trump supporter, and we really can't get in contact with him right now, but I still have today's show lined up that we're going to do anyway. Okay, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but maybe another time we'll be able to get him on. So many things have been happening in the news that maybe things have caught up with him. Maybe I've asked him previously to do his research on Donald Trump, and maybe he found some things out he really wasn't previously up on. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to go on with the show. But first, I want to do the Masonic journals. We have a few good things coming down the pipe when it comes down to Lodge Nimrod 9. We're going to do some charity work here in the Nashville area, in the community. And I'll be getting the dates and everything ready for that. And you can give me any information you want to give me on the Masonic Journal at gmail.com. That's Masonic Journal at gmail.com. And you can deliver photos of events, flyers, whatever your event is free. You don't have to pay me anything. Just send it to my email, and I'll make sure I make a commercial for you. And that is the Masonic Journal. Now we're going to get back to the show. I brought a stack of papers here, ladies and gentlemen. I was gonna feed him some of these facts about Donald Trump that he might not have previously known, and this is why I say that before we get out here and vote for people, we really need to do our background search on them and check out who these people are, because I'm from the Midwest, and I know a lot of things about Donald Trump that people in the South never knew about. The casinos he's run, the white supremacy, how his father was at a Klan rally joining the KKK. And, these are some of the things that some of us minorities have already had, previous knowledge of. Now, I'm going to give my man Kyle here an opportunity to explain who he is and what he's looking for in a candidate, and what are his thoughts about today's political strife in this country. Kyle?
So, if it was me running for title in an election, I would want to make sure that all my good people, if they had a good fact coming to the table about how we could change society and make it where it was better for the people in every aspect, and it was equality for everyone that goes out there and wants to work. I would want to go out and talk to people I would cold call. I would run different kind of things where I could, get traffic in and talk to people and, figure out what they do not like about society and, what they would like to change. And if it was a good point, then I would, discuss it with other people in the, politician office, if I was running, and say, hey, this point came to me and we got to make it happen. So, I'm fairly new to politics, and I've only heard one side, which is my guy Kevin. He is a Trump supporter, and I've heard only his side compared to other different parties. And so I have been a Trump, and I do stick by Trump, and I think, in a sense, I always will go for Trump, but I do like to hear other views. And the reason I do go for Trump is because for business owners and I guess middle and higher class, it helps us out in a different sense. So, I'm just kind of, I don't know. I still got a lot to learn, and that's why I'm here today, to learn some facts and to figure out, just different views.
Okay, okay. Well, and I'm good. I'm glad we're having this discussion because, like I was saying earlier, that a lot of people have strong feelings about Donald Trump. They feel like this country has moved off into the wrong direction. But you can't correct the ship with an incorrect, with a corrupt or incorrect person to run the ship. Because it's only going to go further and further towards that iceberg and sink it. And that's why I wanted to have the debate with Kevin, because I know you're still on the fence, and this guy he seems to be all the way there. And I was gonna lead it off with just the white supremacy stuff alone is enough to turn me off. I'm not gonna make a deal with a demon to fight the devil. All of us going to the same place anyway. So that's just me personally, and I can go through a list of things here, starting with October 7th. Donald Trump reiterated false claim that young men known as the Central Park Five were guilty of sexually assaulting a jogger in 1989, despite the DNA evidence that exonerated these men. Now, this is DNA evidence. This is somebody else's sperm that was on this woman that they didn't have the DNA proof back then to match it to. These men didn't do that job. They didn't kill this. They didn't assault this woman. And he still's adamant about, they guilty anyway. They should have stayed locked up. I mean, it's just certain things like calling Mexican immigrants all rapists and murderers. I know a lot of Mexicans. They're not all rapists and murderers, and something's wrong with that. And when a person says something like that, and
I guess what I would debate is, this is Donald Trump's past, and I do get he came from money, and I do get he ain't out there working everyday jobs that you and me have to do to get by because he was passed down, money, and he just, since from a business standpoint, anyone can be given, let's say, $1 million, and if you choose to do the wrong thing with it, then you're going to end up losing all the money compared to him growing what he had into more and more, and just doing different views. Maybe his past shows that he is a not so good guy, but what does that have to do with his presidency today if he's not still doing the same things that he was doing?
Okay. Well, I just named two things. They asked him about it during his presidency today because the men just got exonerated like 5 years ago about that rape. And they asked him just recently, within the last year or two while he was president, did he now agree that these people were innocent? And this is when he said that. The rapist and murderer thing, calling immigrants rapists and murderers, he did that at one of his rallies. So this is current. We can go to the whole tiki party that the Klan had, the neo-Nazis.
Let me ask you this. If he handled it differently, as in saying, instead of, bashing Latinos, if he was to, my view on bringing Latinos over to the Americas, I think it's a good idea to bring them over. So I am against Trump in a sense of, why he doesn't want to bring them over. But what if he changed how he thought about it, where, because he has, there's facts out there how he has increased jobs for, everybody. What if he was to handle it like this? If a Latino wants to come over and they're obviously an illegal immigrant, if he said, hey, let me give you an opportunity. What if you came over, you joined the army, which he is a great supporter of the army, and just the Navy and just Air Force and all of them. He is a great supporter and he tries to help them out. That's why he conserves a lot of money into putting it into our army. What if he said, "Hey,
let me say something before you go too far ahead with that. I think Donald Trump uses the military for votes. I don't think he cares one bit about the military. And the reason why I had to stop you there is because, number one, during the Vietnam War, he faked like he had some kind of foot spurs to get out of fighting. And then he denigrated a great man, John McCain, for his service, saying that, I don't call heroes people who get caught. That was some bullshit. I didn't like that. That was trash when he said that. Then I can take it a step further and say, I have a child in the military, and killing that man, Soleiman, put us in danger with Iran. And I'm old enough to remember when Bush became president, there was a controversy about Bush, and a whole war started, and all the controversy about Bush disappeared. And I can see the blueprint. I can see the blueprint of what Bush did. Trump was trying to do with this whole Iran thing. And one last thing before I let you continue on. One last thing. I can pull up a fundraiser he did to give $10 million to the Veterans Affairs. He did a fundraiser on a battleship. The money never got to these people until a court ordered him and his family and his trust fund to pay. That shouldn't have been an issue. If that money was supposed to have been for veterans, it should have been paid out to veterans immediately. So, I just wanted to get those facts. Now, these are facts, so when I hear people say he care about the military, I think that's bogus, because, it's just too many facts saying that he really don't. That's just a ploy to get voters. Okay, go ahead, brother.
So with the stuff that happened in Korea, for example, he went over there and met that president, or the guy that runs the country, which I cannot recall his name.
Kim Jong-un.
Yep. So he went over there and said, because we had 10 aircrafts in space because they're kind of like an isolated, country, and they say, he went over there to shake his hand and say, hey, we'll remove our aircrafts if you stop testing, missiles and testing bombs on just different things to see what your military's like. So in a sense, this is kind of going to your topic. If he wanted a war, wouldn't he have went forward with, doing something different rather than trying to remove the planes so they would stop testing what they were actually doing over there? And even though in the facts and in the news today, they went back to doing that after.
Yeah, they did.
He tried to prevent something going on by saying, hey, I will remove my aircrafts if you stop doing this.
Okay.
And so he removes them, and then they end up stopping for a short period of time.
Couple of months.
And then they end up going back to doing it.
Right.
So he doesn't want a war. He tries to handle things in a certain way, but sometimes it always depends on the two people in the negotiation to make it actually happen, because he held up his part of the deal, but they didn't hold up theirs. They only did for so long.
Okay. My I don't know what really the whole thing about North Korea and Trump meeting is, he made history with that. And my thing about that is, when Obama went to the Shah, well, not the Shah in Iran, but the leader of Iran, the Shah, he's been gone a long time. But when Obama went over there, he didn't go over there, but when he reached out a hand to Iran to get Iran to stop their hatred towards Israel and stop their nuclear things going on, the nuclear bombs and gyros being made, the entire Republican Party was up in arms about him being weak, ineffective, and things of that nature, kowtowing to a dictator. It was the exact reversal when Donald Trump went over there with North Korea. And this is the whole thing I be trying to say. People have short memories. I don't. I look at the history. I keep my notes. I study this stuff. And
But let me ask you this.
Okay.
This is the history of other presidents. You know, it might have something to do with other presidents, but this is also Trump's doing and what he is doing. This isn't other presidents. They have no play in this. They have no play because they're not here anymore. Maybe they have started something and he is working off it, but this is his doing when it comes to doing certain things about our government.
What I was talking about was not Trump himself. I was talking about the people who are Trump supporters, the legislative branch, the people in offices all across this country who are Republicans and conservatives. That's who I was talking about. I know Obama's gone. His time is over with. What I was saying was the same people that keep putting these people in office that they want in office because of whatever reason, they're not holding the same standards. When Obama tried to stop a rogue nation of Iran by meeting up with them, sending delegates out there and stopping them from centrifuging nuclear arms, it was a pushback. Now the same people who are voting for Trump, who want Trump, who love Trump, watch this man go over to North Korea and basically shake hands with a dictator who has murdered people in his own family. And I have not heard one person say, man, he weak for doing that. Ain't no way in the world I would have did that. I've yet to hear one of these conservatives or Republicans talk about or talk against that, except for John Bolton. Now, that's one thing I can say about Bolton. He is a war hawk, and he loves going to war. But the man is he don't like dictators. Period. He don't like North Korea. He don't like Iran. He ain't playing with that stuff. That's one conservative I can say didn't like when Donald Trump went over there and was fucking with Kim Jong-un. But we pushing towards the first commercial break, and when we get back, we're gonna
talk about two different things that I want to talk about.
Okay. He already tried to take over my show.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
I was gonna eventually, in about 10 years, maybe lead the show to him. You know, like all the greats in podcasting, but he's already trying to take over my show.
Let me tell you, Marcus, if it came down to it, he'd hammer me on this politician debate. I can tell you that, because he comes from the facts, you know, and I'm coming from what I'm learning, and I do a little bit of reading and research myself. But I do want to talk about the Latino, the decision he makes on Latinos, and how if he handled it differently, would it affect a lot of the people that, you know, say it ain't cool for him bringing them over, when I think they should be over here. I think they should come over here. I think that not all of them are bad people, and I think they're hell of workers. Coming from me having workers that worked for me that were Latino, that were still great friends, and I actually had one call me yesterday.
Okay. Well, we'll be back with the Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, and we're back with the Daily Read with Marcus Gentry, and I am your host. I'm here today again with Kyle Wentworth, and he's my co-worker. And we was just discussing Trump, and like I was saying in the first segment of the show, the guy that was supposed to debate me on Donald Trump, it was a no-show. But it's okay. Like I said, I'm always going to try to prepare a show just in case something goes wrong with the prepared show. So today we're just discussing politics to where, you know, the pros and cons of Donald Trump. Believe it or not, there are pros of Donald Trump. And the pros that I see coming out of this administration is the fact that a lot of people are being exposed. A lot of people are in the closet bigots. They have a lot of hatred in their heart, and they're showing a lot of bravery now. They're coming out. But I'm gonna let Kyle Wentworth. He wants to talk about the things Donald Trump is doing when it comes to impeachment and the Hispanic community. And I'm gonna let you have the floor.
So even though we both know Donald Trump will be reelected, and he will probably be annulled for this term because of the impeachment.
I gotta take a drink on that.
But let me tell you,
I gotta take a drink on that. I don't think he gonna be reelected. That's it's over with.
Hey, listen, that'll be a debate for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I wish he still was there.
But what you think about the whole impeachment situation?
So the impeachment, I pulled up a fact because my boy Marcus Gentry is all about some facts right here.
Yeah.
And I got a pretty good fact.
Okay.
I knew about it, but I didn't know the correct numbers. So
okay.
So in the House of Representatives, that's where the impeachment goes to first before it gets sent over to the Senate.
That's true.
And in the House of Representatives, there's only, why isn't an even vote for the impeachment? Why is the majority Democrat when, there's 230 people that are Democrat,
mm-hmm.
and then the minority, which is 197, are Republican? Do you think if it would have been fair from both, if it would have been an even number on both, do you think the impeachment would have still went by? And if so, I got something to rebuttal against that. So tell me what you think about that.
No, I don't think that. And the reason why is it wouldn't have never left the House of Representatives because you have people in the Republican Party who behind the scenes don't like Donald Trump. But as I've said on my previous shows, they're backing him anyway because of politics. Politics shouldn't come in the picture. If you're a criminal, you're a criminal. If you're not good for the country, you're not good for the country. Just because you're getting a lot of judges put on the bench, just because you're getting a lot of bills passed and pushed through that you like, if a person is a dirtball or dirtbag, he's a dirtbag. And you shouldn't, and the reason why it wouldn't have went through is not because he's innocent. It wouldn't have went through because the people that are trying to protect Trump know he's guilty as hell. But as long as he's in the presidency, they have power to make moves that they want to get done. They don't care about him doing something illegal. Long as he's not out in front shooting nobody on Fifth Avenue in New York, like he once said, he can do that. As long as he's signing bills that Mitch McConnell and the Republican Party want signed, they're gonna back him. And that's not right, because me and you, Kyle, if me and you was to commit a finance fraud, political fraud, going to another country trying to get them to help us on a political campaign, we would be in jail.
Oh yeah.
But we don't have the power to sign bills. He does. That's why he's not being ousted by these same people.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
It says right here that four more Democrats are now publicly stating their anger at the impeachment proceedings, and they have changed their party because of the impeachment. Mm-hmm. So if they're supposed to be doing what, if everything's about the right and the wrong,
mm-hmm.
why did these Democrats change their party because of the impeachment?
Mm-hmm. The same way that one Republican dropped the Republican Party. He knows that Donald Trump was wrong. The same four that you're talking about are from Republican districts. They were already leaning to the right side of politics anyway. They just had a Democrat by their name. In other words, Tennessee is a Republican state, but there are Democrats that live here. So if I'm a Democrat and I win, say, the Senate, and I know everybody in my area leans towards the right, I go to Congress. More than likely, I'm not going to get reelected. I don't know what kind of benefits these people have when they become senators and congressmen, but the benefits got to be something good for these people to suppress their moral just to back somebody, just because the people won't vote them in again if they do what's morally correct. In other words, you recently told me you might want to run for mayor one day. Okay, and you already said you're going to go out here and listen to the people. If you run for mayor and you know good and well most of the people in your area when you run for mayor are Democrats, but you lean conservative, but they like you. They say Kyle's a good guy. I'm gonna vote for him anyway. So then a Democrat president comes and he does something the people in your area don't like.
What I would do with that Democrat president doing something that the people do not like, I would say, hey, what did he do that you do not like? And the reason I would go towards a Republican, even though they are all Democrats and they like this guy before, but they switched the party because, or not maybe so much switched the party, but they said, wow, I'm kind of on a side right now of somebody that just screwed me, right? And I would say,
what do you mean by that?
I would say, well, you just said the Democrat guy, the Democrat president coming in, he did something that people do not like. So for one, the people are going to want to change parties anyway, or want to stick by it only because a lot of people about the Democrat president coming in and doing something that the Democratic people in the society did not like. I would take that to my advantage. I would say, man, I'm so glad he did that, because now I'm going to go in and do the opposite, and I'm going to bring the people from the party to my side, and I'm going to try to...
Okay. Now, what if he was a Democrat president and...
he made a Republican play?
He did something that the Democrats liked, but the Republicans didn't like, but you were conservative, you were Republican, and you in office.
All right, so give me an example of something that would be like that.
Okay. Say a Democrat president came in and he pushed for an abortion bill that was fair and equal towards women, letting them choose between if they want to have an abortion or not. The Democrats in your area, they liked it. The Republicans didn't like it. You're a Republican.
Yep.
And you won in your district. You knowing good and well everybody in your district voted for you, voted for this guy. Are you going to go against the grain?
I mean, I'm going to go against what I think is right on a situation like that.
There you go.
And a situation like that, how I'd have a rebuttal and what I'd go against, I'd say, why doesn't the baby have a choice? Why do they not have a choice to want to live? Right. Why is it the mother, just because they conceived? You don't know if that person's going to be the next NFL star. You don't know if that person's going to be the president of the United States. You don't know if that person's going to be the top at somewhere. You're just going to take them out because they haven't prematured yet. They haven't grown. That's how I'd come into that debate. I would say, I'm against abortion. I'm against, if you damn out there putting your thing, where you shouldn't, then it's your fault for having a baby, and you need to damn do what you can.
So you kind of fell in my trap, right?
I like to fall in the trap because hey, let me tell you, I always have a ladder in the trap. So tell me what's up.
Okay, the reason why I said that is because you would do what's right. These people are not doing what's right. Basically, what I'm saying is, the man is a corrupt individual. They know he's a corrupt individual, but instead of them doing like what you would do with abortion and doing what's right, they're running around here trying to cover up for the crimes and the things that's going on around him.
But that's also
just to
his
keep
past.
him.
That's his past,
bro. It's not his. All of this stuff right here I got is from the time he's been president. I wasn't even going to bring up the stuff that he did while he was a construction.
So tell me what he's done as president that was so bad. Which I know he has some cons out there. Tell me exactly what he has done as president. Has he made that abortion bill? Was that the trap?
I'm not.
Tell me what he's done that's so bad.
The trap was what you just said. You said you would do what you would think is morally right.
Yes.
So if you're going to do something morally right from your conviction stance on that, you should do it all across the board.
Exactly. But the analogy also has to be pretty comparable.
It shouldn't be no. If you're a morally correct person, I can't trust you on an abortion issue telling me that you coming from a moral standpoint. If you got a guy in the White House who's calling up a foreign country He put the phone call out there, and he clearly stated, "Hey man, I need you to look into this for me." That's not Rudy Giuliani's place. That's not your place to go to a foreign country to have Joe Biden investigated. If Joe Biden did something wrong, you supposed to went to William Barr, which is the Attorney General, and you should have said, "Mr. Barr, does he have any criminal convictions? Is there anything going on across seas?" Investigate it. That's the proper channels that should have went with. The reason he didn't go through those proper channels is because it was illegal. William Barr couldn't do that. He would have told the president, "Look, man, I can't do that. You're in the middle of an election against this man. I can't go over there and start investigating this man. That's illegal." So if you're going to have those convictions about abortion because you're standing on your moral grounds, it should be all the way across the board, or how can anybody trust you to be morally correct or have good moral judgment? That's what I'm coming from.
All right. So what if somebody's making a decision based on, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in life where, decisions have to be made based upon what's better and what's financially better and what helps out everybody. I think that comes into aspect of, I know Donald Trump, he definitely, there's probably some things out there that he has done that have not been the best decisions. But the thing is, does the decision making that he makes, is it really as bad as it, seems? Is it, or is that someone overthinking, or I guess the way I would put this is he just, is he really that bad when it comes to certain decisions? What is something,
Okay, I'm gonna give you something else. You just told me your stance on abortion, and you took a strong moral stance on that.
I did.
Have you seen those kids locked in those cages?
I have not. But this is where the Latino aspect comes back into it, where
right, we're talking about that now, the Hispanic community. What did you think about that when you see none of the pictures of those babies locked in them cages, anywhere from the age 2 all the way up to 16?
Yeah.
Locked away from their parents in cages.
I think that the decision Donald Trump made on that, which I just learned about, was not the best, because he is against having more people coming into the U.S., but from his brain, it's probably because of the population, and he, what is behind the scenes, like when it comes to conserving the, I guess, trees and stuff like that, rather than tearing them down and building more and more and trying to get the overpopulation. You know what I mean? Maybe we don't know exactly 110% where he's coming from all the time.
No, I do know where he's coming from. He's coming from bigotry.
Okay, so what if he handled it like this? What if he said the Latino community that's coming into the U.S., all of them are legal, right? So what if he said...
Not all of them are
All right, so the ones that aren't, they stay. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are, what if he handled it like this? What if he said, hey, I'll give you an opportunity. You want to come over here and work? The money's better than it is in Mexico and Ecuador and those other Spanish-speaking areas where the majority of the population is Latino.
Right.
So what if you came over here, because this is how I would handle it, is what if he said, hey man, here's a choice. If you want to come over here and earn your citizenship for you and your kids and your family, what if you came over here and joined the army for 4 years, right? Which they would pay for your citizenship. You'd pay to get legal. You would pay to, not only would you draft soldiers that are out there that, some people back in the day, they used to draft people that didn't really want to go to the army. People would just have to get drafted. Like in Israel, they still do it nowadays. When you're 18, you have to go to the army.
Right, you got to serve at least 2 years.
Yeah. So what if he did it in a sense where, he gave everyone a choice, which nowadays it is a choice in the U.S., but he said, hey, you want your citizenship. You come over here, serve 4 years, not only will you get citizenship, your wife will, and then the kids will. And that's how it should be dispersed. That's how I would handle it. And if they want to come over, it's a choice. It's like, hey, you can come over here and you can make stuff happen, or you don't come over here and there's consequences for you coming over here.
That
Do you think from a
you would be a good politician? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you just spent this whole tale about a what if when I was talking about what he's already done.
He has done it.
He has separated over 12,000 kids from their parents and didn't even have the forethought to try to keep their match up with who they came from. That means he separated the kids from the adults. A lot of the adults have already been shipped back home. You have 12,000 kids locked up in Audi homes and places all across this country away from their parents who aren't even in this country anymore. And now the government don't even know how to contact these people. Now he just made another problem because you can't just send these babies back to Mexico. They're not with their parents anymore. So now America has to take care of these kids, which means tax money. That means growing them up in this country hating us because we separate them as children away from their parents. Then you're going to have to release them into the American population. You can't send kids back to Mexico that you've raised in this country. They don't know nothing about Mexico. You're going to drop these American-speaking kids, once they turn 18, back into Mexico. How? They'll be dead in a year.
So that is something that he handled in a way that I would not handle. And the thing is, I'm going to relate it to our lives. Do you remember where you put every document? Do you remember where you put everything that is ever given to you? A lot of people lose stuff.
Documents is not babies. You don't, and that's what I was talking about when I say moral grounds. You got to have the proper moral grounds to have a stance like you had on abortion, because if you have that strong of a moral stance on babies being aborted, you should have the same moral stance on babies being separated from their parents. Me personally, if you want to lock the babies and the parents up together and then deport all of them back, do that. But don't come separating these people trying to use that as a deterrent for more people coming over here. That's wrong.
And that's why, that's the decision he made that I might not support, but there's other decisions that I do support about Donald Trump. That is a moral, that is definitely a moral situation that's real messed up that I am against. And I didn't know that fact until you brought it to me. And I'm glad I learned about that.
Let's go into this tax cut then. Do you support that tax cut?
Let me ask you this. In the tax cut, I don't like the tax cut because we are working for people that do not want to get out there and they want to live off welfare and they want to live off everyone else's paycheck.
What that has to do with the tax cut?
As in, I don't.
Okay, let me explain to you what happened with the tax cut.
Tell me.
Okay. A lot of Trump supporters support it, and they try to say that this is one of his greatest achievements. That's bullshit.
Tell me what happened during the tax cut.
The tax cuts only affects people who make $450,000 a year or more. Me and you don't make nowhere near that.
So what if you did though?
It's not beneficial towards America. It's beneficial towards multimillionaires. And then Trump turned around and went to Mar-a-Lago and got caught on a recording telling his associates down there that I just gave you all money back in your pockets. These are some of America's richest people. And he's not. Dave Chappelle said it best, the comedian Dave Chappelle, when a heckler was saying something about he loved Donald Trump. He said, man, Donald Trump ain't fighting for you. He fighting for me. And people didn't get that. Dave Chappelle wasn't coming from a black standpoint. He's coming from a multimillionaire standpoint. He said, Donald Trump don't give a fuck about you. He's fighting for me. He's not fighting for the common working man.
But with the opportunities that are given to you in life, if you ended up getting into the 450 standpoint, why? Let me ask you, would you change your party? Or would you still stay at your party?
I'm not. I'm an independent. I don't have a certain party. But if I did make 450,000, you know.
So what if you lowered it to the 200,000 mark, which is easily
that,
obtainable?
That tax cut wouldn't affect me none. I would still get taxed the same rate, and that's what a lot of people didn't understand. And then what the Republicans did when they gave a tax cut to all of these multimillionaires and multi-billionaires, they said, well, they're the job producers. They're going to go out here and take that money and put it back into their businesses and produce more jobs.
All right.
The job growth didn't move at all.
All right.
So it didn't move. It didn't move at all.
So what about with all the for example, these companies out here in the concrete industry related to us is, do you believe that there's concrete being poured every day and there's stuff that is being done every day?
Okay.
With the amount of people and the amount of people that have our babies and stuff, it's giving other people opportunities for jobs, because some of these businesses out here are getting so damn busy that they got to either hire more people, and so they're going to need that money, that 450,000. They're going to need that money to pay these people salaries to go out there and work and improve what's going on in today's society. Like, there's buildings going up. There's
You have the average Republican thought process when it comes down to that tax cut. That's what they all say. But the numbers say different. The numbers say that the economy barely even changed. There wasn't no job growth. Actually, the jobs went down.
So if there's no job growth, there's companies opening up every day. There's something opening up.
Basically, what happened was, when the richest people got those tax cuts, they put them back into their pockets. Instead of me making 20 million a year, I'm making 30 million a year, and I'm not putting it back into my business. I'm not hiring nobody extra. That's basically what happened. The tax cut been in effect 2 years. There has not been no major job growth.
For so much that we know. What if it's not recorded on paper? What if we don't know about these companies that are opening up and helping out?
I just gave you the latest facts on minorities. I just looked it up.
So for our company example, I mean, are we getting new drivers? Do you think Steve Meadows, a guy that is making over 400,000, 450,000, where his tax cut is different, do you think he's having more money to hire more people and give more people an opportunity to work if they have a CDL and they go and actually, go and do what they need to get the job? And I mean, we're opening plants everywhere. I mean, what are we gonna do with drivers? We're gonna sit there and.
Okay, you say we're opening plants everywhere. Okay.
We got 5 new plants coming up.
Okay.
So what about the 15 drivers that we have at our plant? How are we gonna get 15 drivers at all the other plants if we're not reinvesting that money?
Those plants you're talking about opening up are what you call they're closing. I think 2 major plants, the one downtown and the shop.
So they closed 2, but
right.
Open 5. So that's still 3 plants right
I haven't heard about 5. I've heard about 2.
And that's what a lot of these people don't know, is they don't know about it because it hasn't been posted. It hasn't happened yet, but it is in progress behind the scenes. And that is why people are reinvesting the money that they're getting. You might not think they are, but they are.
They're not. They're not. You can't go by.
Maybe not everybody.
You can't go by what one individual company has done, because the Meadows and the Ready Mix company has always been a good company. They have always paid us the best rates, even before Donald Trump became president. I've been with them almost 7 years, but.
So other companies out there, I'll refer to another company.
The overall, as far as America goes, hasn't had a major bump in job growth after the tax cuts. People got more money in their pockets as far as the richest people, but my taxes has not changed at all. My raise didn't come. So my bonus didn't come. Like
let me ask you this though. All right, so there's an annual raise in March, right? Okay. So when you first started, what was the top pay that you were going to have as your position? Has that went up in the 7 years that you have been there?
Yeah, it went up $1.
All right, so even that $1, even if it was 15 cents, it did go up.
Yeah.
How do you not know that
hold
other
on
companies are doing
now.
this?
Now guess what? That $1 jump from $20 to $21 came during Obama.
All right, so it came during Obama. How do you not know when March comes around this year that that you're not going to get another $1, another $2? How do you not know?
Only time will tell. We'll see.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see.
Time can tell.
But we got to jump into another commercial break, and once we get back, we'll continue on with this good discussion with my brother Kyle here, and this is the Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, and we're back with the Daily Read, and I'm your host, Marcus Gentry, and I'm here with Kyle. Say, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up, you guys? How are you?
This is my partner, Kyle. We work at the same company, and like I was saying in my first two segments, I had the show planned to debate a guy that's a Trump supporter, and he's been telling Kyle all kinds of things, and you know, I just want to bring some facts to the table because, you know, I don't like it when people tell other stuff, but they can't show them the paperwork on it. Like he was telling me that the job growth and the stock market was better under Trump than Obama, which was a lie. You know, Obama's stock market was at 58.9%. Trump's stock market is at 46.1%. Under Bush, it was negative 17.2%. So these are lies, you know, and you got to expose these lies because people will keep telling them, and it'll go around in a circle and it becomes a bubble, a talking point bubble. You know, Trump goes on his spiel about how he's doing good for black Americans. That's a lie. You know, under Obama, the job rate for African Americans in this country was 5.9. Under Trump, it's 6%, which is a slight bump in unemployment for blacks. 42,000.
But with the 1%, with all those people.
What people?
Everybody in the United States, with how many people are being born and everything, that 1% could be 200,000 people.
You can't calculate people being born from the age of your birth to the age of 18. You really can't calculate them into the job market. It's not possible.
So even the 1% with all the wives and the husbands, you know, the people that are unemployed out there. I mean, that 1%. How many people is really 1%?
It's not really. It's not a percentage. When you dealing with 5.9 and 6%, it's not even a whole percentage point. It's a slight bump. You're looking at maybe 500,000 people, and those are not kids. Those are not anybody under the age of 18. This slight bump under Trump is a slightly higher unemployment rate in the minority communities. Black unemployment started under Obama at 16.8%, and Obama got it down to 5.9. That's a major employment boost under Obama. Trump has not made nowhere near that accomplishment. Nowhere near. And I got the numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going when I bring something to my show, I always tell you I do my research on it. The number says under Obama, when he first took office and Bush messed the economy up, unemployment under minorities was 16.8. By the time Obama left the office, unemployment in minorities was 5.9. When Trump took over, unemployment for minorities was 5.9. 3 years into Trump's office, it bumped up just a little bit to 6. It's not nowhere near 16%, but it bumped up. Unemployment bumped up just a little bit under Trump. So you know, like I say, these are facts I've already looked up. I'm going to go over some of these things in the economy I want to take your opinion on. What's going on with this economy under Trump? Because like I say, you know, Trump's been president for the last 3 years. Obama's gone. So we're gonna stick to stuff that's going on with Trump. Job gains. The U.S. economy typically add more than 250,000 jobs each month from 2014, 227,000 a month, 2015. Trump has not been able to top that yet. But experts say job growth remains surprisingly robust, especially given how many baby boomers are retiring. So robust does not mean he's had the same levels that Obama has. Robust just means it's still doing good. Okay. Unemployment rate. The nation's unemployment rate is at half a century low, a source of pride for Trump. But many economists have pointed out that the rate has been falling steadily since 2011 anyway. So even though it's still going down under Trump, ever since Obama took office, it was going down anyway. Growth. After a painful 2009, the economy has been growing for a decade. In the early years of recovery, growth was lackluster, but it started to pick up in 2014 and 15. Trump told America he can do even better as president, but his record so far looks similar to Obama's final years. While his tax cut and deregulatory push boosted growth in 2018, that appears to be fading as business owners grow concerned about the trade war. In other words, you can't do a trade war while you're trying to grow the economy. It's not going to work, people. You're going to have a recession. So what you think about that?
I'm trying to get some statistical numbers right here for
Okay,
you with
okay,
that just that 1%. I know you're a fact guy.
Hey, let me hear it, man. Like I said, I'm a fact guy.
It might take me a second to get it down, but I'm making it happen.
Okay, I'm gonna let you keep getting them facts. I'm gonna let you keep getting them statistics
Keep
down.
talking to the good people
I'm gonna
on
keep
the
on talking to the
daily
good people.
news.
Okay, middle class income. Most Americans saw a noticeable decline in their income during the Great Recession, and it took years of wages to recover. In 2017, a typical middle class family finally saw their income climb above where it was in 1999. Now the data release, the new data for 2018 will be released in September. Incomes have been rising steadily in recent years as more American jobs get added. That can't be just Trump. Over the last 10 years, Trump has only been president 3. Over the last 10 years, the economy has been steadily growing anyway. So just remember that, people. Now the stock market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 46% at this time in Obama's presidency versus Trump's 25%.
Got a number.
Now you hear that, right? It says the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial, was up 46% at this point in Obama's presidency versus 25% for Trump's presidency. Stocks soared under Obama, and he ended his White House tenure with one of the best gains of any president in modern history. Trump started out with a lot of love for Wall Street as well. He did, because Obama had already given him something good to work with. Now, his tax cut helped that out even more. But stocks have moved sideways since he began his trade war. In other words, like I said, again, you can't do a trade war if you're trying to grow the economy, because you throwing everything out of whack. Food stamps. About 1 out of 7 Americans received food stamps in 2013. In the aftermath, this is something you like to hear about, because he's really against my guy here. He's really against the food stamp thing. In 2013, the aftermath of the Great Recession, as people struggled in finding food, good paying jobs, the numbers came down slightly under Obama, and decline has accelerated under Trump as more Americans have attained jobs and the requirements to remain on food stamps have tinted. Now, like I said,
I'm ready for it.
Okay, you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay, now I got a few more points here, but I'm gonna let Kyle get his numbers and everything going on. What you got for me?
So I'm gonna relate what my numbers have to the food stamps, because the number ain't, 1% really ain't that big with the 5.9 to the Trump 6%.
Right.
But that's 372,000 jobs that Trump has given to people.
Okay.
But then again, for me thinking of everything, I got all the thoughts, going through my head, so I try to think of every outcome of certain things. You just said that some people had to get jobs to continue having their food stamps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that was a policy started under Obama, though. That wasn't started under Trump.
So Obama made people have jobs to continue their food stamps.
Yes.
But Trump continued it.
Yes.
All right. So let me ask you this: do you believe that I mean, hell, if food stamps, I mean, I want food stamps. Why not? I mean, hell, that's free money. Damn, go grocery shopping. It's the same shit, you know. But I think personally, that's more people working, right? That's more people working.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that the food stamp thing is, there's a lot of people out there, and this is what Trump and I'm sure other people see. There's a lot of people that just, they'll have kids, and back in the day, you could just have damn 4 or 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting all the damn government benefits, and that's bringing our paychecks where all our tax money is just going to those people that don't want to work, don't want to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to live off other people's paycheck. How is that fair for other people to live off our paycheck and get all these benefits and whatnot going on?
I don't think
I know.
Ever since Reagan, and I remember Reagan. I'm a little older than you, but
3 years.
Ever since Reagan was president, there was a woman who was white, but she looked black. She was like she was a European woman. They used to call her Food Stamp Sally or something like that in Chicago. She was Italian, but she looked like a light-skinned black woman, but she was really white. And she dated a black guy. And that's another reason why people thought she was black. And they used her as the poster child of why America should stop food stamps. I remember that case. They arrested her, and when they arrested her, they found out she had food stamps coming in from several different aliases. I mean, up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. She was getting food stamps under different aliases. Ever since that case, America has been against people using food stamps. You can't take one individual out of millions of people in this country and look at everybody as saying they're being lazy and bums and trying to beat the system. There are some people out there who legitimately need it. I raised 2 girls, and when my kids when I lost my job, I got laid off at a manufacturing plant. I had to get on food stamps, and I remember the woman looking at me like, what your grown ass doing down here trying to get food stamps? And I'm like, man, I got custody of my kids. I'm in between jobs right now. But she had this look of disgust in her eyes when I went down there and signed up for it, And when your kids is on the line and you need to feed your babies and you done lost your job, unemployment, when you go from $900 a week all the way down to $400 a week because you're getting unemployment, that's a big chunk of your money gone.
That is.
And you need something, because that money has to go towards bills, so you need something to feed your family.
But let me ask you this. Do you think if everyone was just, I know that I think food stamps should be temporary.
Yeah.
Temporary, because the thing is, what if you're always getting this money? Then you're thinking, man, I kind of like hanging out at home. I kind of like, not working. I kind of like waking up late. I like not going out there and, working the 9 to 5 or whatever. What if, do you think those people, they get into that lazy track and they don't want to do nothing? They're like, man, someone else is going to pay for this stuff.
Right.
Why am I going to pay for this?
What you talking about is generational food stamp recipients, where the mama get on it, the kid get on it, then the grandkids get on it. I've seen it, and it's a real thing.
But do you think that's fair?
It's not.
Do you think that's cool?
It's not. But that's not. That on a percentage basis, I say 10% out of 100% of people do that. That's not a lot of people. Out of the
I mean, that is a lot, because just think 1% is 372,000.
It's not.
If you take that times 10, that's 3 million people, 720,000 people that
America
are doing this.
America has 2.6 billion people in this country.
That 372.
That's not a lot of people.
Million in the United States.
That's not a lot of people. When you looking at numbers nationwide, those few percentages that's just living off welfare, being bums, that's not a lot of people. And then there's also a misconcept that came out of the 80s with Reagan, that it's mostly minorities doing this. That's another myth. There are more Caucasians and whites in this country on food stamps than there are blacks. The people in West Virginia, the coal miners who lost the coal industry, a lot of those people are on food stamps.
See, the reason I wish Kevin was here today, because he told me a fact, which I would have to look up myself because I do not know.
Then how you know it's a fact?
It's something he tells me and he listens to it. I don't know. I mean, it can't be. It could or it could not be a fact.
Right. So what?
But he told me that if like for Hillary Clinton, if she would have became president, for the hardworking people like me and you, our paychecks would be a fourth of what they are right now. Would you want to work every day for a fourth of what you're getting right now, compared to the people that are getting food stamps and they're still getting a fourth just sitting at home?
It sounds like Kevin is going off some emotions, and then he bled those emotions off to you. Because did you ask him to show you any facts on them numbers?
Well, with the time, the answer is no. But the time that I gave him to talk, and the time he gave me to talk, it was just on the phone as I was working. So I couldn't sit there and, I had stuff I had to do.
Have you researched it since?
I have not, because it hasn't been that important, as I didn't think today I was debating by myself. Man. I need some damn backup.
Okay.
I'm not doing too bad by myself.
You're doing good. My thing is, when people say stuff like that, those are the same people that said things like that about Obama. I just sat there and told you facts that.
How long have you done your research?
I've been doing my research.
A long time. Yeah. If I knew that today was coming and this is how it was going down, I would have done some research. But I was hoping.
People forced to get jobs to stay on welfare has been going on since Obama was president.
Yeah.
So that just lets you know right there that, it probably would have been going on even when Hillary would have became president. She wouldn't have stopped that. I have no doubt in my mind Hillary Clinton wouldn't have stopped that.
I think just if we reverse back to the impeachment going on, I think Hillary has a big play in it.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Because
no.
I think that's why the
now you dipping off into conspiratorials.
Well, because
we're not here to get on no UFOs and aliens. I'm here to give facts. I do my research on it.
There's a fact that Kevin told me. I just can't recite it exactly how he said it.
Okay.
But Hillary is going to keep coming after him. Kind of like with
Coming
Trump.
after who? Trump?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't think Hillary Clinton cares about Trump one way or another.
All right, so let me ask you this. You don't think it was any part of her that had to do with, what was it, the Russian guy that he saw in a bar?
No.
And you walk in, you sit down at a bar, and you have a drink. And just because, that's like me going in and talking to Mark, just because he's black, does that mean that he's...
How did you relate that? And see, that's the thing that's why I say a lot of these Trump supporters are running off of emotions. Yeah. They feel like somebody's taking something from them, and they're throwing anything against the wall to protect Donald Trump.
But let me ask you this.
You can't... When that guy went into that bar in Europe, he was in Europe.
Yeah.
And started talking to that Australian who he didn't know was a reporter, and started saying that they got information on Hillary Clinton. That was on him. Hillary Clinton didn't put that report up to following this guy. The Europeans have been our allies.
So why didn't the shit get cut after, right? Why did it not? Why didn't it just stop right there? Why did after that, when everything started settling down and it was just kind of going away, why did another thing get thrown at Trump about the Ukrainian phone call with a Ukrainian person after the fact that he was met with a Russian? It's like as soon as stuff starts settling down.
We're talking about two different things.
Well, they're trying to get him out of office. I feel like Hillary has a big part in
Hillary Clinton ain't even... I don't know what the animosity is with this woman. I don't know what the mental anguish is why they keep trying to throw... Hillary Clinton has no dog in this fight at all. People need to understand that. Hillary Clinton is gone. Her time to be president, Donald Trump took it. She's too old to run.
But you really don't think she's still coming after him?
No. Hillary Clinton has nothing to do with this. Bill and Hillary Clinton are so old now, she would never run again for president.
But you don't hear a lot of people talk about Bill Clinton's presidency. You don't think that they would have...
I can talk about it.
What, do you think it was good?
Fuck yeah. I was alive and I was running around in the streets of North Carolina in Fayetteville when Bill Clinton was president, there was money in this country. We had a surplus. We had a very good surplus, and Bush fucked it up. He took that money that we had in this country flowing and turned it towards a war that we didn't even need because he wanted to become and stay president. I hated that. That's one thing I can say about Bush. When Clinton was president, a lot of Republicans didn't like him, but the man had money flowing in this country. I'm talking about you had poor people running around here with Jordans on their feet. That's how much money was flowing through this country when Clinton was president. He had shit booming. And Hillary helped him do it because she wasn't just the typical presidential wife.
You just fell into my trap.
She wasn't the typical presidential wife. Hillary Clinton had a law degree, and she helped bring some of the people into Bill Clinton's office that helped him produce money for this country. So go ahead, let me hit this trap I fell in.
Yeah, man. So you're a liberal, right? You're independent.
I'm an independent, but I lean more towards the liberal side.
So you know, did you vote for Hillary?
Yeah.
You did. You did.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that her aspects and her way of running stuff? I guess I was just kind of putting it on you because I wanted to see. I talked about Bill to see if you were about Hillary rather than being an independent, saying views from both, and that's the whole trap thing. You know, I just kind of got information that I just wanted.
And the thing about it is, I voted for Hillary because she was a better choice. If anybody else would have ran against Trump.
Do you think our paychecks would have been a fourth of what they were now? Do you think they would have been the same?
Our paychecks wouldn't have changed, bro.
You really think so?
I really think so. Our paychecks wouldn't have changed.
And this is where if I would have had time for this daily news, I would have had some stuff planned up. But damn, this is me going off the wind coming in here.
Now I will tell you that tax cut for the rich wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen. Those wealthy people got what they voted for. They got Trump in there, and he gave them a tax cut. Up under Hillary, that shit wouldn't happen. It would have been a hell no, we ain't cutting no taxes for you.
But that's also where we came in, where we talked about one job that we're both familiar with, that Steve Meadows is reinvesting his money back into the company.
See, now we're talking about something different. Construction
is a huge part of this United States. Construction is going off everywhere.
Construction wouldn't have changed too much. It
is changing.
In a bad recession or a good recession, it's not going to change too much because even though growth might not happen, people still have property that they still need to dig up and put new concrete down. So our industry wouldn't have changed too much.
What about real estate? Is there more houses being put up?
Yeah, but nobody moving in them.
So, all right. So some people aren't moving in. What about people that aren't moving in them, but they still have it as a vacation home sitting somewhere? Someone's still buying them.
See, and that's the thing that I don't know. I don't understand about these Trump supporters that make under $450,000. What that have to do with you? You got $1 million stash somewhere I don't know nothing about?
I mean, you never know, man.
Because you sound like you're a millionaire. Me personally, that has nothing to do with us. We working men. We make 60, 70,000 a year at most, 50 to 55 at least a year. Those tax cuts didn't have nothing to do with us. A person with a vacation home has nothing to do with us. A person drives a Bentley and lives in a mansion has nothing to do with us. It has nothing. That tax cut was for them.
But I don't know. I guess I would argue that I do believe that a lot of these company owners are reinvesting. And if I was, on top of my own company,
I got the numbers.
I'd be reinvesting.
You personally, I think you probably would. These people are not.
From a business standpoint, they should too, though.
I can pull up papers and on the internet where they interview some of America's top CEOs and ask them to raise their hand. You might have seen it. It was on CNN.
But why?
Let me finish making my point. How many of y'all reinvested in that tax cut back into your business and help grow and build more jobs? maybe 2 people out of 700 people in that auditorium raised their hand. They showed the crowd, bro. These are CEOs of multi-millionaire S&P 500 companies.
So let me ask you this:
A handful of people raised their hand.
what about the people that was gonna sell their business? Because there's also people out there that, you know, they're 65 years old and they say, you know what, I'm gonna sell my business and sell my assets. It's kind of like if somebody at our company, you know, the owner or whatever, wanted to get rid of everything and say, you know what, I'm getting rid of everything, I'm giving it to somebody else. And that's why they put a number on something and say, hey, if you want it, you can have all my shit for this amount of money. Right? So what if they're not reinvesting because it's their last year of doing it? What about all those companies out there that are turning it over to somebody else?
I like that you have a business of mind, and you do. I think you're going to be a very successful businessman one day because your mind is on it. I like that about you. But right now, the shit that Donald Trump's doing has nothing to do with us. I don't think he gives 2 fucks about Marcus Gentry or Kyle at all, or Annie, or my sister down. He don't care about us at all. Now, the people that visit Mar-a-Lago that got the money to join his country club, those are his people.
Those are his people.
Like Dave Chappelle said, I got to end it at this because we pushing the time. But like Dave Chappelle said, he ain't fighting for you. He fighting for me. And everybody laughed in the crowd. I was on Saturday Night Live. Everybody laughed in the crowd, but they was laughing uncomfortably because they understood the joke he was telling. You feel what I'm saying? We got to end it here, people. This is the Daily Read, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Later, y'all.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
You like it? I'm not doing too bad. Watch, she's gonna
Yeah.
that shit.
Do a little dance.
Not on the floor, but inside. Very close now.
That's it right there. I'm not doing too bad. What's up, good people? This is Kyle Wentworth, your host in the Daily News. What, dude? What?
You know,
Light it up.
light it up, light it up.
Oh, shit.
Lon, I got one more 15-minute segment. We'll be done.
Boom! That's it. Look at the pimps on the screen, man. Look at that shit.
Players.
This is the blooper at the end right here. Yeah, and I would want to have a rebuttal.
Have it. You know, do what you do. I mean, when you look over this stuff, you be like, man, how in the fuck can I rebut this shit? I mean, look at this.
Yeah,
look
rebut
at
this shit.
Look at this, man. This is crazy. Look at this, man. This is all the stuff that he has done since he's been president. I didn't.
When will it be posted, you think?
What?
Oh, shit. What, you hitting the green or the red button?
I ain't messing with that right now.
You still hitting it?
No, fuck no. I ain't messing with that right now.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.